All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something that, well, it kind of flips what we think we know about happiness on its head. We're talking about holistic contentment, and this really fascinating idea that a happy mind, it actually starts with the body.
You know, we hear it all the time, right? Happiness is an inside job. It's all about your mindset. But what if that's just one piece of the puzzle? What if that's only half the story? That's the big question we're tackling today. Is lasting contentment really all in your head? So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the idea of a woven tapestry. Then we'll get into what's called the one-dimensional problem. After that, we'll explore why the body matters so much, how to start with something tangible, and finally, we'll put it all together in what our source calls the holistic dance.
Okay, Section 1, a woven tapestry. Let's talk about the true nature of well-being.
So what is holistic contentment? It's this idea that we're not just a mind or a body or a spirit, all operating separately. We are all three of those things woven together. Think of it like a tapestry. True contentment isn't about making one thread perfect. It's about how all three threads, body, mind, and spirit, work together in harmony. Because if you yank on just one of those threads, the whole thing can start to come apart.
All right, on to Section 2, the one-dimensional problem. This is all about where traditional self-help can sometimes fall a little short.
And here's the problem. The usual advice, the familiar pattern you see everywhere in self-help and even spiritual teachings, it's almost always focused exclusively on the mind, right? Change your thoughts, change your life. Meditate, be mindful. And don't get me wrong, that stuff is super valuable. But it puts all the attention on that one single thread, the mind, and kind of forgets about the other crucial parts, our body and our spirit.
Leo Babauta puts it perfectly here. Almost every kind of problem we have has discontent with ourselves and our lives as its root. I mean, that really hits home, doesn't it? Discontent is at the bottom of so much of our struggle. So, yeah, the goal, finding contentment, is spot on. But the big question is focusing only on our thoughts the best way to get there?
And this really shows the difference. When you focus only on the mind, it can feel so abstract, so elusive. The source material describes it as grasping at clouds. And that's just a perfect description. It can be really difficult and frustrating. But when you switch to a holistic focus, one that includes the body, everything becomes more grounded, more integrated. It gives you something tangible to work with. And that's when harmony can start to happen much more naturally.
Which brings us right to our next point. Section 3, why the body matters. This is really about the overlooked powerhouse of our well-being.
And look, this isn't just some nice philosophical concept. It's straight up biology. When your body is energized and feels good, it literally releases chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin. These are the things that make you feel happy, that make you feel connected, and when that's happening on a physical level, it just naturally lifts your spirit. It can melt anxiety away. And your mind? It can finally calm down without you having to fight it tooth and nail.
Now, you've probably heard this a million times. This quote from Robert Johnson and Jerry Rule. Contentment comes from the inside. It's a classic, right? A cornerstone of wisdom. But what we're exploring today asks us to think a little deeper about what the inside actually is.
Because the inside, well, it's not just your thoughts. It's not just your brain. It's the whole shebang, the entirety of your being. We're talking your emotional depths, your heart, your spirit, and the very real vital energy that's in your body. So if we're going to do inner work, we have to include all of it. Okay, so if we need to work with our whole being, that sounds big. Where do you even start? Well, that's Section 4, starting with the tangible. And the idea here is to use the body as your anchor. And here's why this is such a game changer. Think about it. The mind is, well, it's slippery, isn't it? It's restless, it jumps all over the place, and it really resists being controlled. But your body is right here, right now. It's present. It's palpable, you can actually feel it, you can move it, and it gives you instant, clear feedback. It's the perfect anchor to the present moment.
So, the takeaway is, when you take care of your physical body first, you're not ignoring your mind, not at all. You're actually building a solid, true foundation for your mind to rest on. It creates this amazing ripple effect. A body with energy leads to a heart that feels lighter, which then creates the perfect conditions for the mind to just
Settle down gracefully.
And that leads us perfectly into our final section, number 5, the holistic dance. This is where we see how this all flows together in a really natural way.
And boom, here it is. The whole process. You can think of it like a simple, elegant dance in 3 steps. Step 1, energize the body. You start with something real, something tangible, like movement and care. You don't start by fighting with your thoughts. Then, step 2, uplift the heart. Your spirit, your emotions, they naturally rise up on that wave of physical energy. And then finally, step 3, settle the mind. It just follows along, calming down into harmony without you having to force a thing.
Now, of course, this isn't a magic button. This quote from Tracy Wild Pace reminds us that real, true contentment takes time, practice, and an awareness. It's something you have to cultivate. It's a gentle practice of noticing how all these parts of you are constantly talking to each other.
And what's the absolute best place to nurture that awareness? Well, it's right back where we started, in the body. Every single sensation, your breath, your heartbeat, the feeling of your feet on the floor, it's a direct anchor to the present moment. It pulls you out of that crazy, chaotic storm of thoughts and grounds you in what's real, right now.
So, the big takeaway here is that this isn't just another technique to add to your list. It's a fundamental shift in your whole approach. It's about changing the order of operations. Instead of starting with the mind, you start with the body to create the right conditions for your mind and spirit to flourish, all on their own.
And so I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. What if the first step to a peaceful mind isn't a thought at all? What if it's a movement? Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.